Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, unable to move, unable to scream, trapped beneath something ancient. Tonight's story pulls you into the terrifying world of sleep paralysis, where the old hag doesn't just watch, she feeds.
I didn't know what time it was when I first opened my eyes, but the room was dark enough that I could still feel the night pressing against the windows. The air was heavy, thick, almost warm, like someone else had been breathing in the room long before I woke up. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then I tried to move, and nothing happened. My arms frozen, my legs glued to the mattress, my chest barely rising, barely falling, as if someone was sitting on it, crushing the air out of me slowly, deliberately. I tried to inhale again, a thin breath, a broken gasp. That was all I could manage. That was when I realized I wasn't alone. Something was in the room with me. Something awake. Something watching. The shadows near the door began to move, not shifting naturally, but bending as if pulled forward by something crawling out of them. Something old, something small, something with joints that cracked a little too loudly with every slow step. I couldn't look away. I couldn't blink. I couldn't scream. All I could do was watch. The figure dragged itself closer, a hunched silhouette, thin as broken branches, trembling with each movement like its bones were splintering under its skin. It stopped at the side of my bed. I felt it lean in, its presence pressing the mattress down as if it were testing the weight of my fear. Then, a cold hand touched my ankle. My entire body tensed, not from pain, from the shock of knowing that whatever this thing was, it was real enough to feel me, real enough to claim me. The fingers slid up my leg, slow and deliberate, like they were savoring the shape of my body, one bone at a time. Then it climbed up my shins, over my knees, on top of my chest, and only then did I see its face. Her skin was paper thin, stretching over a skull that looked too sharp to be human. Her hair hung like wet seaweed, clinging to her cheeks. Her eyes were cloudy, a milky film sealing whatever life once existed inside them. But the mouth was the worst. It trembled as if whispering constantly without producing a sound. I could feel the breath, but I couldn't hear the words. Her jaw dropped lower and lower and lower until it hung unnaturally wide, like it had unhinged long before she ever climbed onto me. She leaned even closer, and I could smell her breath, damp, rotted, ancient. She was so close that her wiry hair brushed my cheek every time she shifted. I could feel her weight pushing down harder and harder and harder, compressing my ribs until my vision blurred at the edges. I tried to scream. I tried to break free, but nothing moved. Nothing. Then she spoke. Not in words, not in any language I recognized, but in a sound so low and broken that it felt like something was whispering from inside my own lungs. A rasp, a hiss, a choking gasp that didn't come from me but vibrated through my bones. It felt like she was trying to suck the breath out of me. Not through my mouth, not through my nose, but through my chest, through my very ability to breathe. My lungs burned, my vision pulsed. I felt my heart beat slow, not from fear, but from whatever she was doing, pressing down into me. Something dark coiled around the edges of my consciousness. I was fading, and she knew it. Her jaw stretched wider, her body trembled like she was feeding. Slowly, patiently, methodically. Her cold hands pressed against my chest, fingers digging through the sheets, as if searching for the last bit of warmth I still had inside me. The room seemed to tighten around us. Walls bowing inward like the darkness was bending to watch. Shadows crawled toward the bed, pulled by her presence. The air thickened until breathing hurt. My heartbeat hammered in my ears, slower, weaker, silenced, one beat at a time. I felt myself slipping away. The world shrank to this one moment, this one creature draining the life out of me inch by inch. But then, something small, barely noticeable, changed. Her head snapped up, her milky eyes widened, her face twisted, as if she heard something I didn't. Her grip loosened, her body stiffened, her head slowly turned toward the corner of the room, the darkest corner. And for the first time, I realized she wasn't the only thing there. Something else was watching, something bigger, something older, something she feared. Her trembling intensified. Her hands slipped off my chest, her mouth closed, not gently, but with a sharp, wet click, as if she were terrified to show her teeth to whatever hid in the darkness. Then, without warning, she scrambled backward. Not climbed, not crawled, scrambled, jerking her limbs in stiff, broken motions as she backed off the bed and sank into the shadows like they swallowed her whole. The pressure lifted. Air rushed into my lungs so fast I almost choked. But I still couldn't move. I could only stare at the corner of the room where the darkness pulsed as if breathing. Something shifted inside it. A shape, a silhouette, as tall as the ceiling but unnaturally thin. It lingered, watching me, studying me, judging me. Then, as if satisfied, the shape slowly dissolved back into the darkness until the room returned to its ordinary, silent black. My body released all at once. I gasped, I jerked my arms. I rolled onto my side, panting, coughing, shaking so hard the mattress trembled beneath me. I didn't turn the lights on. I didn't dare. I just sat there in the dark, trying to breathe, trying to convince myself that it was over. But as I calmed, as the ringing in my ears quieted, I heard something shift under the bed. A breath, low, slow, wheezing, and then a whisper. A whisper I finally understood. Next time, don't wake up.
Scared, time for you to sleep. But before you encounter the old hag, like, share and subscribe, and hit the notification button to keep you updated.